What's up people, and welcome back to the last video of this IKEA cabinet series. We're gonna do another 5S, and this one I want to keep rather simple. So this is gonna be a low-tech shallow tank. UNS was kind enough to sponsor this video as well, and we're gonna see which hardscape we're gonna use. I have still some wood left over, some beautiful rocks as well, and like I said, we're gonna do it low-tech, so I hope you're ready for a new video. So the UNS 5S is 36 in length, 22 deep and 12 centimeters high, which leaves us roughly with 10 liters of water or 2.5 gallons. So like I said, we're going to keep it fairly simple. I found a nice piece of hornwood and some nice druid boulders from Wio. I'm using here the normal size and the nano bags as well. The plan is to have sand and crypts in the foreground with some mosses, and in the back some different emersed plants, but I will get back to that later. The light will also be upgraded from a Chihiros C2 to a Chihiros C2 WRB. So because I want to use aqua soil at the back side and sand in the foreground, I have to make somewhat of a barrier. We're going to use the druid boulders for that. So I'm creating a line and also trying to fill out the gaps on the wood to make a barrier, and later on I will show you how we can even close it more than only just rocks. So to make the barrier a little bit stronger, I'm going to start off with the liquid glue and paper towel method. Usually I use this method on I think almost all my escapes, with exception of some iwagumis, because I want to reuse those rocks again, especially the expensive main stones. But with these, you know, after I'm finished with this tank, I'm not gonna reuse those boulders anyway. So be aware of that. And you can see I have a little bit of extension on the liquid glue, which is flexible, so I can reach places which I usually cannot reach with just a normal tip. So we're gonna mask the glue here with aqua soil. I think it looks quite natural. I can also use wood saw or some other dust that's in the bags with the boulders, but I think this will do fine. And we're gonna use the tiny boulders to fill in the gaps beneath the wood. So the hardscape is solid, and now it's time to fill the gaps. And we're gonna use filter wool for that, because you know, all the soil, we don't want it in front of the sand. So we're gonna fill it up, and also as you can see, it's a note to myself, glue the hardscape to the bottom of the glass, otherwise it will just shift or move forward. So we're gonna start off with a little bit of soil, and on that we're gonna use APT Start. Yes, I'm being sponsored, and you can find the discount code in the description. Obviously, we're gonna use this for beneficial bacteria for the soil and the water, plus a little bit of substrate enrichment. So we have a nice thick layer of soil, and I think it's time to go for the cosmetic sand. I had some leftovers in my shed, and I also found Colorado sand. Colorado sand is a little bit like La Plata. It's really fine sand, but it's a little more reddish. So I thought it would be a nice mix with the DOOA sand leftovers that I have as well. So we're gonna mix it up and see how it goes. If in my case some soil comes into the sand, you can always use a little magnet, because soil contains nutrients like iron, and yeah, it's magnetic. So quick little tip. So this is the tropical or DOOA tropical river sand. I'm gonna use it for a little bit extra detailing. I'm gonna throw it near the hardscape structure itself. So I won't use it as much in the middle. Eventually it probably will mix, but not to worry about that. For now it's more for the detailing work, and we're gonna finish it off with some lava pumice and some other detail stones. So the hardscape is finished, and I did some extra detailing work with some lava rocks, as you can see, because I think these rocks also have like a lava structure on the surface. So I thought it would be a great combo. As you have seen, we used the sand in combination with the DOOA, well, what is it, river gravel that I had as well. So, you know, mixing it up would make a great end result, or so I think what we did. So for the plants, I have a long list of plants. Some will fit, some will maybe not fit in the end, because I made just a great mix, or so I think. And we're gonna start off with some in vitros. Usually I use potted plants because they adapt fairly easy to the less humidity that I have in my room, but the in vitros, yeah, they just need more time to adapt, and sometimes they just melt, like this one. I've tried it a lot of times. Sometimes I get one that goes above water with a little flower, but that's about it. Usually they just all melt. So I'm gonna try it one more time. Hygrophila lancea araguaia from Dennerle. Then we have some moss that I often use for my immersed setups. Underwater, it already says serpens. I don't know if it's snake-like, named like that, but that's the idea that I have. It just all has runners, really messy plant, but above water you can create a cool immersed moss look. So we're gonna use that one. Then I have the rotala rotundifolia. I don't know if I ordered the correct one, because usually immersed they turn reddish, or that's what I had before. The stems turn a little bit more darker. So that's one that we're gonna use. I'm gonna put it back. Then another hygrophila, whoa, corymbosa Thailand. Never tried it, not immersed, so we're gonna use that one as well. Then I had some leftovers from the Dennerle project. Lubigia palustris. Really beautiful plants, already growing immersed. And then one that I've seen very often, never used, and now it's available in a lot of aquatic stores. It's a grass type aquarium plant called Acorus gramineus. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. You have two versions. One is a little bit lower, this one, and you have one that's a little bit higher. I will put it all in the description. And then my all-time favorite, I hate to throw away plants, so I had a few pots laying around, and yeah, you know what it is. Pogestemon erectus, or some people have a decanensis. So this is the one with the purple flowers. Just gonna mix it up like a riverbank. We have some anubias, some bucephalandra as well. Not the types that I wanted because everything was out of stock, but we're gonna try it with some normal anubias for once, and otherwise I'll just wait till they have it. So for now, we're gonna start with the planting. So I'm already done planting, and I did it pretty quick, and I didn't show too much because I think it's one of the most boring things to do in aquascaping. Honestly, I don't like planting that much. I like to see them grow and eventually evolve the scape. As you can see, most of the plants I put 3 of them or a little bit more, but as you can see, it's also a lot of merged. We have the rotalas, the acorus, a lot of pogestemon erectus. No Pokemon in this tank. I found some cryptocoryne. It was some leftovers as well, so I thought, you know, might as well use them because they're a lovely little plant. They can grow in sand as well. Just give them some time. The anubias, And you know, maybe later on some more boost, but I think it's quite good to keep it peaceful on the front side and a little bit more hectic in the back with all the different plants. In the end, I didn't use the hygrophila. It just didn't fit. The acorus are quite big. I didn't know the roots were that big, but yeah, in the end, we shall see what will survive and what not. But let's fill it up. I think I'm gonna fill it up like around here, and then I think it's time to shoot the B-roll and end this shallow tank. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you at the next video as well, and if you have the time, just drop a like and a comment. It really helps me grow on my page. So I'll see you next time.